Hi there! We didn't get a single General Direct in 2020. Instead, we got a bunch of mini directs, partner showcases, and some single game focused directs. While these weren't bad per se, they're definitely not the same thing as a General Direct. The reasoning is probably because of current world events right now, but it could also be that Nintendo is just done making them in general. And if that's the case, let's go ahead and reminisce on the 10 best ones from the past. This list is based off the games featured, as well as the overall presentation and pacing of each direct. So without further ado, please take a look.
Rewatching all of these directs was a blessing for two main reasons. One, I got to see Iwata again, and two, it's fascinating how the pacing of directs has changed drastically over the years. At the beginning, Iwata was the main speaker, and would sometimes switch to Reggie or Miyamoto. Instead of just showing a trailer and moving on, they would also go really deep into the details of a game. And I don't mean like one or two of the big titles, I mean most titles. You can really feel the passion Iwata had with these presentations. It has a charm that I don't think will ever be matched again. Saying all that, however, there are moments when these directs dragged on and on. A lot of these announcements are small details that in today's age we'd see Nintendo tweet out and never speak of again. As an example, I don't really think it was necessary to talk about NES Remix or Dr. Luigi for as long as they did. This was still the beginning though, so it's expected as they were figuring these things out. Besides the slower pacing, the game announcements were really solid. The big ones included Hyrule Warriors, Rosalina being revealed in Smash Bros. 4, and a new trailer for Mario Kart 8. A lot of this presentation was showcasing games that were already announced previously, such as Kirby Triple Deluxe, Sonic Lost World, and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Not every game was a winner, and that can be said with, well, every single direct. We got details on Wii Sports Club and Yoshi's New Island, which weren't Nintendo's greatest products. This was Nintendo's humble beginnings, and it's really cool seeing how much they've evolved over the years. 2014 was wrapping up, and a lot of the games previewed in this direct were already well known. Captain Toad was showing off snippets of each stage, Kirby's Rainbow Curse has multiplayer, and there was lots and lots of news on Amiibo, which makes sense, considering Amiibo were brand new at the time. Even though a lot of the games shown weren't new, we did get some really cool updates, like Duck Hunt Dog was added to Smash, Mario Kart 8 was getting DLC, and Splatoon's single player was looking really fresh. The beginning was also fantastic, with a trailer of Majora's Mask 3D, and I love how the moon is slowly falling towards Iwata as he's talking about the trailer. This direct had a lot of information, and the presentation felt really smooth. There were a couple slow moments, but for the most part, the 33 minutes flew right by. 2015 was a rough year due to the passing of Mr. Iwata. This was the first direct without him, and Reggie starts by saying thank you for all the kind messages. It was a bad time to be a Nintendo fan, not only because of Iwata's passing, but also the games we were getting. This direct goes over Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, Star Fox Zero, and Mario Tennis Ultra Smash. It's not all bad since this was actually a pretty decent direct. Cloud was revealed for Smash Bros, which was a huge deal, Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow were coming to the 3DS, Twilight Princess HD was in the works, and we got updates for Splatoon and Super Mario Maker. I also appreciate the donut skit for promoting Yokai Watch. It's hilarious and feels like something that would come from Iwata's production. Interestingly enough though, a lot of Nintendo skits weren't labeled as Nintendo Directs, so it's for that reason they aren't included in this top 10. There was also an update for Triforce Heroes, Pokken Tournament, and Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon. It was a pretty packed direct, and a very memorable one for many reasons. Now onto our first modern direct. The one that was held on February 13th, 2019 started with an absolute banger. It was pretty obvious that a sequel to Mario Maker or a port was coming to the Switch, and we got an awesome trailer detailing all sorts of things you'd never expect, like getting Mario 3D World as a new game style. I also love how cheeky this trailer is. Nintendo knew how badly people wanted slopes, so within the first 30 seconds, that's what they showed. There was also some good information on Dragon Quest Builders 2, Dragon Quest XI's, Astral Chain, and we were shown Link's Awakening for the first time. And I'll never forget when I made a joke about seeing the Tetris piece in the preview screen, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a battle royale, haha, and then 5 seconds later, my joke was real. There was some good updates and reveals, but the pacing definitely gets slow at times. Dragon Quest and Fire Emblem in particular goes on for much longer than it really needs to. It honestly feels like Nintendo was forcing these games down everyone's throats. And that's not to say they're bad games or anything, but it was a little excessive on information and would fit get better as a single game-focused direct. This issue is honestly apparent in a lot of directs, where they'll go from spending 30 seconds talking about a game, then suddenly shift to 3 to 5 minutes. It's really jarring. Personally, I feel like you shouldn't spend more than 60 to 90 seconds on a game, but that's just my thoughts. And can we talk about how Nintendo said there was an update to Smash Bros, but then pedaled back and told us nothing? Maybe this update was originally delayed or something, but why bother teasing an update to an already released game? Some other small announcements include Captain Toad DLC, Box Boy plus Box Girl, Rune Factory 4 Special, Grid Autosport, Mortal Kombat 11, and Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. For the most part, all the games shown looked pretty good, except Dead by Daylight. Yeah, that straight up looks like a PS2 game. They started 2019 off well with some heavy hitters. This was the beginning of a new era for Nintendo Directs. April 12, 2017 tried something completely new. Instead of constantly cutting to the host after each game, a slide would switch to something else and the narration would just continue. This was an absolute game changer. While Iwata's charm unfortunately is no longer felt, these newer Directs do a better job at delivering information in succession. They start off by talking about some 3DS games and then move over to the Switch. This was getting close to the end of the 3DS, so it wasn't really getting the massive games it used to. Case in point, this game you're looking at. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh though, there was still some decent games shown off, like Miitopia, Yokai Watch 2, and the Kirby stuff. The main event, of course, was everything on the Switch, especially since the console had just launched a month before this Direct. Lots of ARM details were shared. Splatoon 2 revealed Salmon Run. We got to see Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Ultra Street Fighter 2, Minecraft, Sonic Mania, and Sonic Forces. I will say that the ARM segment went on for way longer than it should have, which, you know, I get it. They're trying to explain how this brand new game works, but there was also an ARMS Direct a month after this, so I don't really see the reasoning for going into so much detail for this general Direct. But there was so much announced. This Direct really made me feel confident in the Switch from the get-go. So, I was not expecting a brand new Luigi's Mansion 3 right off the bat. It's not one of Nintendo's biggest series, so seeing it in the spotlight like this was a great start. This Direct had a lot of really cool and unexpected announcements. Animal Crossing was not only teased, but they also revealed Isabelle for Smash Bros at the same time. I will never forget how crazy of a debate that was. We were led to believe it was an Animal Crossing announcement, then it turned into Smash Bros, and just when everything seemed to be wrapping up, that's when the Animal Crossing teaser hit us. We also got some Splatoon 2 updates, Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn was announced, Yoshi's Crafted World had a new trailer, and there was tons and tons of Final Fantasy games. Just a boatload of ports were announced. In fact, a total of 8 Final Fantasy ports in one Direct. This was also our first time discovering who Peachette was, which was actually a big deal in the long run considering Bowsette turned into this massive meme. The main negative with this Direct was Nintendo Switch Online, which of course has yet to be improved even to this day. I know the topic has been done to death at this point, but it really is pathetic how bad the online service is. We're basically just paying for NES and SNES games. And of course, Nintendo was selling NES controllers to work with the Switch, because of course they would. They will straight up sell the same NES games and controllers for the next 8 million years. Besides that though, there were so many great announcements that I didn't even get to, like Katamari Damacy, Civilization 4, and The World Ends With You, among many others. Smash Bros. For Wii U was hot off the press, and nobody knew what was coming next. Within 20 seconds, Mewtwo and Lucas were confirmed for a reappearance in Smash Bros., as well as several Mii costumes. On top of that is one of the wildest things Nintendo has ever attempted, the Smash Bros. Fighter Ballot. The idea of a fighter ballot has kind of always been a dream, and to see it actually come to fruition is still so cool. I'm really curious how many times SpongeBob and Shrek were voted in this ballot, since a lot of people didn't take it that seriously. But apparently we got Bayonetta out of the ballot, which seems like a weird choice, but I won't complain. And this was just one part of the Direct. We also got Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS on Virtual Console, Mario Kart 8 DLC Pack 2 revealed, as well as 200cc, and Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. Speaking of Fire Emblem, there was a brand new trailer for that as well, and Yoshi's Woolly World showed more gameplay, including a Yarn Yoshi amiibo. And Splatoon was also showing off more modes, plus its own set of amiibo. 2015 was the year that I bought the most amiibo, and while I don't really use them anymore, I still glean joy looking at them and remembering all the time and effort it took to collect them all. There wasn't really anything lame covered in this Direct, outside of Amiibo Tap, which was just a marketing gimmick to get you to buy Virtual Console games. It's harmless though. At least Nintendo tried to make these amiibo more valuable. This is one of those rare times where a Nintendo Direct was labeled as such during E3. Usually they're called digital events or just Nintendo at E3, but this was specifically a Direct. And my god, did we get one hell of a show. It starts off with Pokemon X and Y and reveals a brand new type, which was Fairy. That was pretty surprising on its own, but that is only the beginning. Super Mario 3D World was revealed for the first time, and so was Mario Kart 8. Getting two massive Mario titles announced in one Direct like this is extremely rare, but that wasn't all. Wind Waker HD was also shown, and the same for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, Bayonetta 2, and Xenoblade Chronicles X. All of these are huge hits for the system, but I've been saving one game in particular. This trailer is the reason I have a YouTube channel at all. Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS was also shown for the first time. The graphics were so impressive for both systems, and new to the roster was Villager and a very mega character.
Come on. Oh my god! They're adding Mega Man! Holy, oh my god!
This was the most powerful reaction I think I've ever had for a video game. Literally a couple months before this trailer, I had just discovered Mega Man and was absolutely obsessed with his NES games. So seeing him after recently becoming a fan just brought a certain level of joy that I don't know if I can ever express again. It wasn't even just the fact that it was Mega Man though. The reveal trailer was in beautiful CGI, and the music is so hype-inducing. Even to this day, this trailer still gives me chills. It's just that damn good. There were a few other smaller games announced too, like We Fit You and We Party You, but the sheer quantity of AAA games shown makes this one of the best Directs of all time. It set an extremely high standard for what Directs can be. The only downside is some of the games were shown on screen for a little too long, but otherwise it was simply awesome. Starting and finishing a Direct with Smash Bros. Reveals is one of the best ways to go about these events. First up was Hero, which was a pretty big deal in Japan, and then Banjo, which was a big deal in the West. I watched this Direct with the Minus World friends, so this added a lot of hype.
This is Donkey
What?
Oh,
It is a Donkey Kong character.
Funky Kong mode?
Funky Kong!
Funky Kong.
Funky Kong!
Yes!
Oh my god! They're doing it!
This was a lot like the September 2018 Direct, where there was just a massive amount of games shown. And I think what's shown here was even higher quality. We got another trailer for Link's Awakening, Cadence of Hyrule, Trials of Mana, The Witcher 3, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, and No More Heroes 3. And that's not all games with 3 in the title. Luigi's Mansion 3 had another trailer, and the graphics had a serious glow up compared to the last time we'd seen the game. The third-party support was still ridiculously good, and even the smaller games like Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympic Games were looking better than ever. And the ending is simply wild, with a Breath of the Wild 2 teaser and our first look at Animal Crossing New Horizons. This was another E3 themed Direct, so all these huge announcements make sense in the grand scheme of things. They even had Bowser and Doug Bowser at the beginning, which was a fun homage to how Directs used to be with Iwata. This Direct is hard to top, but it is only in the number 2 spot. I'll admit it, I had trouble picking between this Direct and the E3 2019 one. I decided to go with this one simply for the fact that the overall pacing is better, and the third-party support is the greatest we've seen yet. It starts off with fairly decent 3DS reveals, such as WarioWare Gold and a remake of Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Then we have Detective Pikachu and Luigi's Mansion 3DS before wrapping up. For this late in the 3DS life cycle, that's a pretty solid lineup. Things get really good though with the Switch. A year in and we're still getting some great games. Some of these include Kirby Star Allies, Dark Souls plus an amiibo, Mario Tennis Aces, Captain Toad, Undertale, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition, the Crash Trilogy, and even South Park. The third-party support is amazing, and it really proved that the Switch can hold up with the other companies. And they've got the slight advantage of being able to take these massive games on the go, so lots of people over the past couple years have been getting the third-party games on the Switch for that reason alone. The end of this Direct seals up everything perfectly. Splatoon gets a massive update, then we get this incredible trailer for the Octo Expansion DLC. Let me tell you, I've watched this trailer so many times simply for the music. It has to be the best expansion pack DLC Nintendo has ever offered. And following that was a one more thing moment. We see Splatoon once again, but it isn't Splatoon 2. The scene gets really dark. Inkling slowly turns herself around, eyes wide open, and the Smash logo appears in her pupil, revealing the next Smash Bros. Game. The build up to this moment was so impactful that this trailer turned into a mainstream meme for months. This trailer is so dark and foreboding, which is so different than what Nintendo usually does, and it was a nice breath of fresh air. This is a Direct that I will never forget for its never-ending surprises.
So, what did you think? Did you agree with my choices on the best Directs? Make sure to let me know down in the comments. But before we go, I have one more announcement. Please take a look.
This video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. VPNs are really great to have for an extra layer of protection online, and Private Internet Access is one of the top ones available. Founded in 2010, PIA is the leading no-log service and has unlimited access to over 20 servers in 70 countries. Regardless of what platform you're on, PIA can be used on Windows, Linux, Mac OS, iOS, Android, Amazon Fire Stick, and more. If you want to unblock streaming services in your region like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, or Disney+, PIA can do that. It's very easy to use and secure, with a kill switch button and no logging at all. That's just a few reasons it's received PC Mag's Editor's Choice. Clicking the link below not only supports me, but you also get a 77% discount plus 3 months for free with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Start browsing freely and securely and check out PIA today. And with all that said, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.